Alright guys, since I have realized that it's fairly hard to make a detailed Asphalt Legends Unite guide because of the multiplayer changes, today I will show you which cards are somewhat useful mainly for multiplayer and events, and which cards are just not worthy of your time and resources. So in case you are a new player, a newcomer, or a somewhat advanced player, you can have a reference of which cards to prioritize in order to get better results and a higher win rate. So with nothing else to add, let's get into it. First of all, I would like to clear out some concepts. If you get the chance to get a car through a car hunt or a Grand Prix completely for free, you should always try to at least unlock it. Of course, trying to spend the least amount of resources possible in case the car is, bad in terms of performance. But remember, try to unlock it because if it's for free, it could be a card you might need for a special event in the future where you could unlock a better car. Also, I'm doing this list from my casual perspective and set of skills, but if there is a card I'm bad with, but that, aliens used to do top tier times, of course I won't label it as a bad card, obviously. Now let's begin because we have over 255 cards to review. In order to sort them out, I will use a thumbs up seeing if a card is good, a mid seeing if the card is just, average, and a thumbs down seeing if it's a bad card I wouldn't recommend you to go for. By the way, the cards marked as mid are not too good either, despite you can do something with them if you are lucky on multiplayer, so mainly focus on the cards marked with the thumbs up icon. Also, since I have to check out over 250 cards, I will add a note on each one of them, which you can check by stopping the video. Okay, so let's begin on the class with the Lancer evolution. Jokes and memes aside, it's not a good card, so you will have to use it for career, but that's it. Same goes to the BMW C4 and the Camaro LT. The Nissan Leaf Nismo is a bit more interesting because of the acceleration, but it's not a card you will use a ton in the future, so it's mid. The normal Nissan 370 set is bad, the KTM X-Bow is fun to troll around in multiplayer, but it's not insane, so mid it is, and the Volkswagen XL is just bad. The DS E10 is the first good car we see starting from below, thanks to its infinite nitro and acceleration, but I can't say the same about the Dodge Challenger, given its absolutely terrible handling. The Renault Desire is mid, the Alfieri is actually quite good, the same as the BMW E8, but mostly because of its overall balance. The Peugeot SR1 is absolutely terrible, same as the Porsche Carrera RS, the Cayman 718 and the Infiniti Project Black S. The Lotus Elise is great for beginners thanks to its insane handling and acceleration, but the Lamborghini Countach 25th, for example, is really bad. The Ford Shelby is just mid, same as the Porsche Targa and the Lotus Emira. The Praga R1 is extremely fun to drive thanks to that sick acceleration, so for the class it's just good, like the Ginetta that follows it. The Trethor is mid, just like its handling. The Nissan Neon Edition is really good thanks to the perfect nitro speed boost it has, and the Honda Civic Type R that follows it is nice as well. The Porsche Taycan can do excellent lap times on certain time-limited events and clash, and it's easy to drive. And the TBR is the fastest D-Class car on the entire game, but it takes absolutely good skills to dominate it properly. Then the Bentley Continental GT3 is balanced overall, so it deserves the good sign. The Mazda 4i is quite consistent in both multiplayer and events, but on the other side, the Alfa Romeo Giulia drifting makes it worthy of the mid tag. The Corvette C7R is really solid, the Vantage EU12 is mid mostly because of its terrible drifting, the Lamborghini STO Evo is excellent for time-limited events and multiplayer, and then we have the Volkswagen Electric Air, the Glickenhaus 004C and the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which are alright, even though the last two cars are not extremely solid due to the way both cars drift, which they compensate with the remaining stats, which are quite solid. And now, moving to C-Class, we start with the terrible Dodge Challenger SRT8, as well as the BMW Homage and the Porsche Boxster 25th anniversary. The Camaro 15th anniversary is just mid, just like the Evora and the Mercedes-Benz AMG GTS. You can have a chance in multiplayer with the BMW M4 GTS, as well as the Rezvani Beast X, the Aston Martin U12 Speedster, the Donkey Board D8, the Dodge Viper ACR, and even the Nagari Bolwell, so all of them are quite nice. If we continue, the Ford Shelby GR is quite mid, the Pininfarina H2 Speed is one of the most solid cars for beginners on any mode within this game, and the Artega Scalo Super Elettra is Super V as well. The Saleen S1 Drift makes it overall performance quite mid, mid, while the Acura NSX is a great car for beginners. The Maserati Alfieri is just bad because of its handling, the Jaguar XJR15 is just decent, and you can have fun with the Porsche Mission Air, so it's good. The Mercedes-Benz show car is just mid, while the Monza SP1 is quite nice if you have nothing around this rank, same as the Automobili Corsa RR Turbo or the Formula E. Also, you can have fun with the Jaguar, but the handling is meh, so mid. It is just like the Ferrari F40. The Renault RS01 is an underdog, but I really like its performance. The Mercedes CLK is meh, just like the Acura GT3 Evo, the Benz Sarth, and the Maserati MC12. While you can actually do something good on multiplayer with the Bacalar, so I will just label it as good because it's at the edge. Then we have the Di Tommaso P900, which is mid in general, just like the Lamborghini Miura Concept and the Porsche Cayman Club Sport. Can you win some races with them? Well, yes. Are they enough to be labeled as good? I wouldn't say so. The Chevrolet Corvette Stingray is excellent, just like the Brabham BT62, the Maserati MC20 GT2, the Ferrari 599XX Evo, and the RS S1. All of them are excellent, unlike the Lamborghini Diablo GT, for example. The Rinera Ursera is OP mostly because of its top speed, but the Bugatti EV 110 is the perfect definition for mid. The Porsche Panamera is an ode to perfection, just like the Lamborghini Gallardo. At the top of C-Class, however, we don't have the best of the best, since the Ferrari 296 is just a bit over the limit to be considered good, the McLaren GT is just good, but not by a ton, and the Mercedes Black Series plus the Ferrari Daytona SP3 are mid cars that just because of their top speeds and their usability on certain class tracks, I had to label as good cars. On B-Class we start with the poor performance of the Porsche 911 Coupe, the Aston Martin DB1, the Jaguar F-Type SVR, the Ferrari F50, the exotic Rise W70, the Porsche 911 GT1 Evolution, the Ford GT, and finally, I can have a break with the first somewhat good car, which is the Lamborghini Asterion. Then we have the mid Ford Mustang RT-R along the Ferrari Roma, the Arash AF10, the BMW M4 GT3 and the Cadillac Thiene Concept. The Ford GT MK2 is certainly slow but can win some multiplayer races thanks to its acceleration, so it's just decent. The second Lamborghini Huracan STO of the game is just mid, just like the Italdesin 01, the McLaren Artura and the Arash AF8. Falcon Edition. However, the Ferrari 488 GTB can win many races if driven properly, so it's quite good, I would say, just like the Kepler Motion. The Draco GTA is meh, almost good, but not enough, so mid it is, just like the Glickenhaus 003S. The McLaren Elba is great, the Aston Martin DB12 isn't, just like the Nissan R390 GT1, and this might be controversial, but the Ferrari F12 TDF is also included on this mid list. The Maserati MC20 can do decently on multiplayer like the Lamborghini Murcielago, the McLaren 765 LT, the old legend as well, this is the Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport, the Aston Martin Vantage, the Apex APO and the Apollo Intensa Emoción. Most of the cars I have mentioned are quite close to the Lamborghini Huracan performance, which is close to them in terms of rank, but for example the Sin R1 handling is so bad that it almost doesn't make it to the good tier, like the Lamborghini Reventon Roadster, for example, which is just mid. This is the same as the Ferrari Enzo Ferrari. The Aston Martin 177, however, is overall quite nice for everything, just like the Apollo N, the Mercedes-Benz SLR, the TVS Superleggera, the Lamborghini Essenza SUV and the XC63, the McLaren 600 LT Spider and the Solus GT, the Puritalia Berlinetta, the Lamborghini Invincible, and obviously the Huracan Evo Spider, which most of the cars I have just mentioned are close to in terms of performance. Over the Huracan we have the Carrera GT, the Nissan GT-R Italdesin, the Sembo TSRS, the Sexto Elemento, the king of the handling and nitro on B-Class, this is my beloved Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the Ferrari Challenge Evo and the Apollo Evo, the Lotus Evija, and then we have all the remaining elite B-Class cars, all of them being just really good in general, honestly. I will be honest, I'm surprised by how many useful B-Class cars exist, but now it's time to start with A-Class. The Aston Martin Vulcan is mid, while the Nissan GT-R Nismo is just nice. The Neo EP9 can do some stuff, while the Ferrari G50, well, it just can't. The Dodge Viper is mid and the Bentley Continental GT3 Speed is good if you keep in mind the acceleration. The Ferrari LaFerrari is mid, the McLaren P1 isn't, the Honda HP Barchetta is, the Aventador SV Coupe isn't, and you know, the McMurty Spirly might be the smallest car of the game, but it's extremely strong. Then we have the Ferrari Superfast, which is nice, like the Corvette Setter 1, the Jaguar CX-75 and the BLF Force 1. The 4GT Frankie Edition, by the way, is a mid car that shouldn't exist since we could have had a 4GT decal instead, and the McLaren Senna GTR is good stuff, just like the good old Aventador SVG Roadster, the Porsche 918 Spider, the Vanda Electric Dendrobium, the Peugeot 9X8, the Aston Martin DBS Zagato, and the McLaren 570S Spider. And if you have a look, you will realize that aside from the Pagani Zonda Air and the Citroën GT by Citroën, both of which are quite mid, all the remaining A-Class cars are fairly good and useful on multiplayer, which is certainly surprising since I expected some bad cars to pop around. Maybe checking on S-Class though. Oh ho ho, seems like I was right. The Centenario is fairly useless aside from some races where you will need it in career mode, and there are literally better B-Class cars than this, so it's quite bad. The same goes to the Ferrari FXSK and the current Grand Prix car, which is the Lamborghini Authentica. Then if you keep scrolling on your garage, we have the Icona Titanium, which is mid, followed by a quite good Lycan Hypersport, especially for beginners, just to look at the terrible Rare's touch-on speed. The Veneno is unluckily quite bad as well, just like the ATS Automobili GT, this Jaguar with a way too long name for me to say, just to land in front of the Lamborghini Egoista, which despite is not the fastest, meaning it's more useful than some of the cars before it. The only Chrysler we have on the game is quite mid, and the Triumph Nemesis is one of the most solid S-Class cars beginner can unlock for free. The GTR Spano is just horrible, and the Nissan GTR Neon Edition is mid, which is painful for me to say, but it's literally one of the slowest S-Class cars, so at least the Stradale, for example, has a better handling, which makes it quite good, unlike the Frangivento Sorpasso, which is really bad. The McLaren Senna, however, has the best handling of the entire game, so it can pull some great laps, unlike the Bugatti Veyron, which is one of the worst high-ranked cars. The Terzo Millennio is mid, but if it wasn't for its handling, it could have been easily one of the best cars of the entire game, while the Vision 1789 is just bad. The W Motors Phoenix Supersport is mid, just like the Aston Martin Valkyrie, while the Thembo TS1 GT is quite decent, just like the Rimac Concept S or the Pininfarina Battista. The Noran Hyper Coupe is mid, the Speedtail is absolutely OP and I really like it, while this Faraday Future is one of the worst cars you can drive. The Regera got its drift radius fixed and is quite good, while the Saleen S7 Turbo is mid mostly because of the terrible acceleration it has. The Ultima RS is really solid, the Sian is alright, the Dracuma is mid however, and the Inferno is absolutely excellent, especially for classic multiplayer. The Torino Supersport is mid, the Chiron is great, just like the Bailey Blade GT1, the Bugatti Divo, the Touareg TS Racer Pro, which by the way is one of the cars I'm using the most during the ongoing multiplayer series, and then we have, well, the Mazzanti Evantra Mile Cavalli. You know, I would say it's bad, but if you are lucky it has all what you need to win races, so I will just say it's mid. From this point onwards, all the remaining cars are good, yeah, including the Bugatti 10 to the Edge. I know it's crazy, but I mean, the car has a bigger win rate than any mid car I have mentioned, so it was worth it. So I guess that was it. I really hope that all the notes I added to each car helped to understand why I decided to classify all the 250 Asphalt Legends Unite cars this way. As usual, you all are invited to let me know your thoughts about this on the comment section, and if you think a car deserves a better label, let us know why. Only after dropping your massive like, of course. Subscribe in order to not miss absolutely anything about Asphalt Legends Unite, and I will see you really soon as usual with much more Asphalt content. Goodbye guys!